So YouTube's new copyright format is making things a little bit difficult, so I won't be able to show any of my trailers at the beginning of my video. So instead I'm gonna pop them up right here and describe what the movie's about. So today I'm gonna be reviewing Saving Mr. Banks, which stars Tom Hanks as Walt Disney and Emma Thompson as P.L. Travers. So what we have here is a movie that centers around the journey that it took to turn the Mary Poppins popular novel into a Disney phenomenon that we all know and love. So a lot of people do know the difficulties that it was to turn Mary Poppins into a popular movie. So what we have here is we see how difficult the author was to work with. We see why she loves the story so much. And we also see how Walt Disney really wants it. And he pursues it for about 20 years. So pretty much, let's get into my review and I'm gonna tell you guys what I think. So right off the bat, I want to say that Colin Farrell is going really underrated in this film. A lot of people aren't really talking about him in this movie, but I want to say that he gives a spectacular performance. He plays Mr. Travers, I believe, the father of the writer of this of the book Mary Poppins, and he gives a phenomenal job. I've always loved Colin Farrell. I know he's an asshole in real life, but I've always liked him as an actor. And here he's just knocking it out of the park for me. I really loved what he brought to the character. And I just hope that a lot more people acknowledge his great acting skills in this film because he gives a great performance here. So as I stated before, we have Tom Hanks playing Walt Disney, and his performance as Walt Disney is really cool because I myself got lost. I didn't look at him and think of Tom Hanks. I actually thought of Walt Disney. Although I have heard stories that Walt Disney was a difficult man to work with and he wasn't always the nicest man. And what we get in this film is kind of a Walt Disney just being a nice guy. I did like that we did see Walt Disney smoking, drinking, and that was all cool, but I know that he had a darker side to him and we don't really get to see that here, so that was a bit of a downside. Now Emma Thompson, on the other hand, plays P.L. Travers. I believe her name is that. And she gives a phenomenal performance. She's a stuck-up British lady who talks all proper and things have to be a certain way, and she's just really, I'm gonna say, anal about things. They have to be perfect. She doesn't want to give up the story. She doesn't want to give up the book. Emma Thompson plays that really vilified evil woman at the beginning, and we also see what journey it took her to actually get to where she is now in her life and who Mary Poppins really is to her, what it means to her, this book, and the journey that it takes for her to actually give up the rights to this, and how it really hurts her, how she starts to slowly change her mind and go back and forth. It's Emma Thompson gives a great performance, and I really want to acknowledge that. It's everybody in this film was phenomenal. Every side actor, everybody just gives their all, and I much props to that. Another thing that actually stood out for me in this film was that it's not what you expected. I mean, sure, it's a Disney film, so you're gonna get the Walt Disney type of things, but this film talks about some really darker reality of things in P.L. Travers' early life, of her early childhood. I'm gonna just say that there's alcohol involved. Her parents aren't the best parents in the world, and you see how she kind of infused her own life into the Mary Poppins fantasy world of what the movie and the book is. And I don't know, it wasn't what I was expected, and it was like I don't know, there were some moments where I was like, holy hell, this is going there, this is pretty dark, and I liked it. I like seeing that. I like seeing that dark tone that most Disney films will never go to. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, there is a dark overtone towards the end of the film that's just kind of wow. And I really did enjoy that. Some of the emotional scenes kind of tug at your heartstrings. You feel bad. You get teary-eyed. It's just a really heartfelt like movie. It's just really good. It shows some really good acting chops by all the things, but it is not what you're expecting. I mean, it's a Disney film, but it's a little bit darker than you might expect. I also really love the way that they use the flashbacks in the movie. They use it really well. Some movies, they overuse it and they don't use it well enough. They put it in wrong times. I feel that the way that the director kind of threw it into the film at the perfect times when P.L. Travers of now is actually, or of 1970 is actually realizing something. We see a flashback of what got her to that point in her life. I really like the way they use the flashbacks. It all seemed to really work for me. I like the story. The story actually really did work. The story, I didn't think I was gonna be interested in the story, but it's actually a really interesting, intriguing story of what the journey was to get this made. Not to mention that we do get to hear a lot of the Mary Poppins songs in this, and if you guys know the Mary Poppins movie, the songs are really great, and we get to see how they made the songs and how they like threw it into the film and how she was against it, then she was for it, then against it. I mean, it's all really cool. I really like the way that we saw the making and the behind the scenes of everything that was happening. We saw how she was against animation. We saw how she was against musicals in general, and she didn't want her beloved book to be turned into, I forget what she calls it, something like like her, like she called like Walt Disney's like some type of machine or something. She didn't want to get it turned into like some type of machine where it just kind of throws things out just to get them out there. And we got to see a really cool behind the scenes thing. The story interested me a lot, and I was actually really surprised. Some of the things that I didn't like in the film were the fact that we didn't really get a sense of what turned her around and what got her on board with what Walt Disney was doing. He just kind of talks to her, and I don't know, like towards the end, I just didn't really feel that Walt did enough to convince her to hop on board like this train of, sure, do whatever you want with my book and turn it into your movie. And I just kind of felt like it was just rushed towards the ending. I mean, sure, I knew what was happening, but we never really get a sense that she was fully on board, except for the fact that she just kind of does it. Another thing is that we don't ever really get a real sense of who Walt Disney was. He's not in the movie as often as you think. Sure, he's on the poster, but Walt Disney, he's kind of in the background for a lot of this film. He's kind of a mystery on himself, and we never really get to peek behind the curtains of who Walt Disney was. Some of the few times were when you see him smoking, drinking. I think he says the word damn one time. I mean, we don't ever really get to see the evil person that Walt Disney was at times. And I would have liked to have seen that. I'm sure that Disney wasn't going to allow that, but I just thought it would have been a cool thing to see. But other than that, I thought the film was phenomenal, fun time, great acting, great story. Just surprised me all around. I really just enjoyed the hell out of this film. And for everything I'm saying here, I'm going to give Saving Mr. Banks a 4.5 out of 5 on my Geeked Out score. I think it's amazing. It's phenomenal. Definitely worth watching if you want to see this story. It didn't drag for me at all, so definitely go check out Saving Mr. Banks. If you want to see a written opinion on Saving Mr. Banks, make sure you go to geekedoutnation.com. One of our other writers actually wrote his opinion on the film a long time ago, and if you guys want to go, definitely check that out. I might put it in the description so you guys can get a sense of another person's opinion. But I love this film, and definitely, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys comment below, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Make sure you guys like my Facebook page. The information is below. It's Facebook.com/geekedoutnation.com or something like that. Just go check it out, like my Facebook page, and I don't know, that's all I got to say. Talk to you guys later.